So today I'm gonna attempt to install multiple cameras in multiple locations on my truck for better visibility off-road and on-road, and also for a purpose whenever I go off-roading on somewhere, I'll have a constant video recorded of what's happening there. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but hopefully it's all gonna come out alright. Welcome to another exterior video where I work on my truck. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. Some time ago I picked up this camera kit. It's actually a screen with multiple cameras. So let's open it up. There's a manual here and stuff. So this is a screen itself that I plan to install in my truck. So that's where I can constantly monitor my cameras. I'm planning to put 2 on the side and a couple maybe underneath, and we'll see. And this is the cameras itself. I know it's not fancy, and I know this is not a 4K cameras. I was not able to find any 4K kits like that you install it and it constantly records or whatnot, but for my purpose this should be fine. So we have 4 cameras here. It comes with pretty long main lead that this gets connected to the monitor, and this is where the cameras are getting connected. We also have for each camera we have a trigger. So let's say like you connect one cable to the reverse light. Once you put in reverse, the camera is gonna come up on the main screen as a main view, or any other lead over here. Then we have our power cables, and we have a cable that connects to the keyed power. So when you turn the truck on, the monitor comes on its own. And then we have a variety lengths of cables that go into the cameras. So this one is pretty long actually, and I believe this is the one for backup camera for big trucks. That's why it's so long, but hopefully we don't have to use it. It also comes with these 2 side cameras that I'm planning to put actually on the side. I know it might not gonna be the prettiest, but it's better than nothing. So now I'm gonna try to figure out where I'm gonna install the monitor in there, and I'm gonna start routing all the cables to the camera location. And as I go, I'm gonna try to figure out where exactly I'm gonna mount all those cameras. Probably not gonna mount them all, maybe only 4, but we'll see. And as I go, as I trying to figure out, then I'm gonna guys show you where and how I put stuff, because I don't think I'm gonna record everything as I'm routing the cables, because I still don't know myself how I'm gonna make this happen. So just stick around, and hopefully you guys are gonna like the end result as well. So I also picked up this heavy-duty gooseneck. So my plan is to mount it to the chair over here, somehow angle it and keep the screen over here. At least this is a plan, so you never know how the plans work out or not until they're done. Alright, so this is in place. Now I can work with this later to position where I want it. I mean, it's a little bit shaky, but maybe I can put a strap over here or something to keep it in place. So now I'm gonna guide my main cable through the firewall, going to the monitor, and all the camera splices and everything else is gonna be, probably I'm gonna leave it over here. This seems to be the safest spot to leave it, and then from here I'm gonna route all the cables to all the camera locations. So I got my main camera cable through, and along with that I run a 22/4 cable that I'm gonna splice over here, and then I'm gonna take this, route it around and bring it to the fuse box, and that's where I'm gonna make an interconnection for the positive, negative, and a keyed power. And these cables I'm just gonna put inside the wire loom now to keep it secured and nice and neat. Now the cables, they are pretty long cables, so I'm gonna have a lot of slack at one of the ends, but that's alright. So now I'm just gonna route these cables as best I can to all the locations that I want, which I'm still trying to figure out for the most part. Now I know these 2 cameras, I have only 2 of these. I want to mount them over here, something like that. Maybe probably over here, to overlook the whole my side of the truck, where my front tires are going, where my rear tires. So I'm planning to mount both of these cameras over here, I mean on each side. So I'll get 2 wires over here, one to shoot all over to the other side, and one camera I'm probably gonna mount it underneath to overlook whatever is happening underneath. So I put 4 cables together. I also marked each end, which one is which, and I have the 2 longest one going all the way to the back, and the 2 shorter cables are gonna be in the middle. Now I'm gonna put this inside a wire loom, and I'm gonna somehow try to route it on a body frame to where I'm thinking I'm gonna mount the cameras. and then this is just a matter of connecting. The only things I'm concerned about the side cameras, once I drill the hole through the side panel over there, I'm gonna have a hole there. If I don't like the camera location, I'm probably not gonna be able to relocate it. I probably can close the hole with something later, but yeah, I think it should be alright. And I'm gonna show you guys where I'm thinking to put two cameras underneath of the truck in a little bit. So I also picked up this 100 feet of half-inch loom and 3/4 loom. So this is all gonna come handy now. So now I'm just gonna put it all inside there, and this should work fine. So this is somewhat partially done. So what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna start routing from the back, bring it all the way to the front. I know that's how much I'm gonna need it there. And those extra long cables, they're not gonna be inside the water loom all the way, because most of the slack is gonna be coiled up and be hidden behind the plastic. So there is no need to waste all the water loom. So yeah, so alright, so I got my cable over here, and as you can see, I also actually wrapped it around in electrical tape all along, just to, once I coiled it up inside there, so it's more protected. So now I'm gonna take this off, get my cable inside there, mark where I'm gonna make the hole for the camera, and mount it over here. So this is where I'm gonna mount the camera, and this is, I need to make the hole to pass the cable through. So now just with a step bit, I'm gonna make a hole just enough to pass the wire. Okay, let's see if the connector is gonna go through. Perfect. So now I'm gonna line up the plate over here, and they provided a bunch of screws, so just with these screws I'm gonna screw it to this plastic. Alright, and that's not gonna go anywhere. Let's push our cable in, let's get our bracket over it, and let's secure it in place. Okay, so I got all the cable over here. So now unfortunately all of this slack I'm just gonna have to coil it up and hide it inside there, and then we can do our interconnection for the camera. So now I'm gonna do my interconnection over here, and this is simply, there is a little groove, so it goes only one way, and then this ring, you twist it over. Now I'm not gonna put any heat shrink over here in case I have to ever disconnect this or something. So in that case I'm just gonna use this special electrical tape, which is outdoor for high temperature and cold temperature, so presumably it's never gonna come off, it's not gonna peel off. So I'm just gonna put a lot of it over here to create a seal. Okay, not too bad. I don't think the water is ever gonna go in there. So now, like I said, I'm gonna coil this up more to try to keep it as neat as possible. I know there is not a lot of space over there to see, but now I'm gonna secure it in that space, in that gap over there with zip ties. I hope you guys can see that, but gonna secure it over there and just close it all up. This is done. I think it came out not too bad. So this side is done and this side is done as well. So two cameras already mounted. So now I'm gonna be working on mounting two cameras underneath, still trying to figure out what's the best place to put it there. So one of the cameras I'm actually planning to mount over here. So on this bolt I'm just gonna put a washer to keep it straight, and then I had one of these nuts from previous stuff, but it was a little bit too long, so I cut it shorter, and my bracket's gonna go here, and this is gonna get tight and hold the bracket in place, and the camera is gonna be here looking back. At least that's the plan. So let's see if I can make it happen. And this camera is installed. It's pretty secure, it's not going anywhere. I hope I'm gonna get a good view towards the back. And this is how the wire goes, and unfortunately, because of all the extra slack, I had to hide it inside there. Much later. So, small update. I did some modification to this camera looking towards the back, because after some driving I noticed the camera is a bit too hot because of the catalyst converter is right there. So what I did, I built a little bracket with like a heat shield. Hopefully that will help. And also the camera I relocated slightly lower from where it used to be. I know it sticks out a little bit down more now, but I don't think I'm gonna damage it with the rocks or anything. Worst comes to worst, this bracket will just bend this way,
and I do have 2 more cameras like that as a replacement because I ordered 6. So only time will show, but with the camera being slightly lower, I have a better view towards the back. So I think that's better. For the back camera over here, I actually created this small bracket that I'm gonna mount over here. So the camera is gonna be more towards the middle, somewhat, and hopefully it's still gonna be protected here. And now with just existing bolts, the ones that used to hold the bar over here, I'm gonna screw this in place here. Alright, this is not going anywhere. I like it. So now I'm gonna mount the camera from this side, looking forward, and pretty much all the cameras are done. So the camera is mounted, so now I'm just gonna finalize this connection over here. Gonna route my cable somehow, somewhere nice. At least I'll try to make it nice. Gonna secure it over here to the bracket of the brake lines. That should be fine. And now I'm gonna do my connection over here. Alright, and this is done. Camera cable is all secured, all the camera cables are secured. So now I can work on the splices underneath the hood. Now since we're not gonna be using any trigger wires, I'm simply gonna cut off all the ends and then just gonna tape them all up. Something like that. So now I can work on making my interconnection for the cameras. Channel 1, 2, 3 and 4. There go 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now once again I'm gonna tape them up individually to keep it sealed, and then just gonna hide it inside there. And of course I still have to connect my power cables to this cable. So now I'm just gonna splice my cables over here. So the red one, I'm gonna make my red which is keyed power, I believe that's what they call. And my white cable is actually my 12 to 24 volt positive cable, and like that. Now my ground cable, I'm probably gonna just stay in somewhere over here on the frame. Why go somewhere else when I have a bunch of bolts over here? So I'm just gonna do that, take care of these cables, make them nicer, and then I'm gonna work on a fuse box. Okay, so this is done. I'm not too happy about this. Has to be one of the messiest my wiring I did here. But just because it's so many wires, I just don't know what to do with it. Try my best. Anyways, for the ground, there was a hole over here for M7 bolt, so that's why I put my ground over here. So that should be fine. So now we can presume this is all done. All the cameras are installed, so now we just have to work on a fuse box. So I routed my cable over here, secured it over here, and I got it over here. So now what I'm thinking is just to tap into these 2 cables that are used for the camera. I mean, I don't think any of these devices is gonna be drawing a lot of power, and this is all fused anyways. So now my red is gonna be over here to the keyed power, and my white is my positive terminal. So that's what I'm gonna do. Alright guys, it's all done. As you can see, it's mounted, the monitor is mounted. I put a little strap over here, it actually came with. It's a little bit shaky, but I think I can live with that, as long as it works and I can see what's going on. Also, it's not obstructing my buttons or anything over here, so I have access to all of this. But now let's start up the truck and let's hope it all works. Okay. Oh, I like that. Oh, look at this. It's working. Look at this. Nice. So now I'm gonna change something. Oh, this camera is upside down. I don't know if you can see it, but this camera is upside down. So I'm gonna change the layout. It has a multiple screen settings to split it in different ways. Since I have only 4 cameras, I'm gonna change it to 4-way. And I gotta change this camera. It's a little bit upside down. So let me do that real quick and we come back again. Alright, so I did some adjustments. So let's start it up again. And let's see what do we see. Alright, much better. Now I have it split on a 4-way, and I did a mirror image for these 2 cameras, so now I have properly, like I'm in the center, and this is my left side and this is my right side. This is underneath looking towards the back, and this is underneath looking towards the front. Not too bad. I really like this. I really like this setup now. This is a little bit shaky, like I said, but I think I can live with that. It's no big deal. I think it came out alright.
Much later.
And just an update. I'm currently replacing my entire camera system Unfortunately, even after I got with the tech support from this company and they sent me replacement cameras for this one, and it's been ongoing for a long time, I was not able to get this one to work. So in the end, I'm replacing it with a 4-camera system, and I bench tested. I just connected it on a bench. I just connected all the cameras to the screen, and they all work great. So unfortunately, I'm gonna end up with only 4 cameras, but that's fine. For the most part, that I was planning to use anyways. So now I'm just pulling all the connections, all the cables apart, and I'm gonna install the 4-camera system instead. So let me explain what happened. With the first systems that I got, the 3 out of 4 cameras that I had installed, they were not showing properly. The image was too blurry. No matter what I did, the image was too blurry. And after contacting the company, and even they tried to provide some feedback and different camera, it still was too blurry. So what I had to do in the end, and why I did that, I replaced the entire system from 6-channel camera system to 4, and that's what I was doing, what they're installing. And after I did that, everything works perfect. Now the image quality is sharp on all 4 cameras, so now it's all working properly. So with this new system, the 4-channel system, I'm very happy. It's working great. I already went off-road with it few times, and like I was saying, this shakes a little bit, but it works fine. Even on bumpy roads, on rocks, it doesn't fall out or anything. And I'm gonna have more video coming up with this, testing it and some other stuff, so hopefully that explains it.
And alright guys, another project successfully done. I'm happy. I've been planning and really wanted to build or make something like this for a very long time. Pretty much ever since I first time went out off-roading, I felt that I need to make something like this. To install some kind of camera systems that I can see what's happening underneath, what's happening on the sides. I'm pretty happy with the placement of the cameras. The ones underneath, maybe I'm gonna adjust them slightly or something, but as time goes by, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do some minor adjustments to feel better. I'm gonna do minor adjustment to the cameras to get a better angle, better view. And I already went for a little bit of the test drive on some bumpy roads. The screen shakes a little bit, but it's not coming off or anything, so that's pretty good. I'm very happy, cannot wait to test this system out. And as always, I'm gonna leave all the links in the description to the product that I bought. But if any case you have some kind of system as well, or you have any suggestions, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I'll gladly read them and I'll check it out. But on this note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you might find it helpful. And until next time, everybody, bye.